Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We have another loaf cutting slash other things to cut video to share with you guys. Before we go any further, I do have something on my nails. I have Essie's Sittin' Pretty, which you guys, if you've been following my channel for any time at all, you guys know how much I love Sittin' Pretty. The lighting sucks, but that is what's on my nails. Let's see, there you go. That's what's on my nails. Thank you very much to Crystal from Rainbow Melts. She sent me in a care package, pretty much a full bottle. She said she's been sitting in her collection for quite some time, so I'm just trying to use up my old bottle here. As you can see the little line there. It's quite low to the bottom. Hard to get stuff out. Anyway, moving right along. Before I'm going to introduce to you guys what I have here, what I'll be cutting and how I'll be cutting some of these newer items to me. Loaves are pretty standard. I may have to put them back in the microwave again for a few seconds if I feel like they're not cutting properly. But before we go there, I'll show you again. I have my Sassy Girl Aroma loaf cutter. I don't think it's their brand, but it's where I got it. Sassy Girl Aroma for $7 US on their site. I think it was my very first haul I ever did with them. Anyway, so let's go through what I've got. I've got the bags. Sorry about crinkling noise. I received this in a random act of kindness. This is Homemade Goodness from Sassy Girl Aroma. It's a nice big chunk leaf. I don't have sent no descriptions for that one. Then I have Joanna, which is this one. Joanna by Vintage Chic Scents is described as strawberry, rosemary, mint shaving cream. And then we have Don Corleone, and it's tiramisu, strawberries, and cafe cubano, which I heard is like amazingly strong coffee. I will have to try someday and like probably fly around the room for a year and a half. All right, and way over here, I have a Sassy Girl Aroma loaf that I purchased. It is blue cotton candy, grape Mountain Dew, rainbow sherbet, and Hawaiian punch. So that's a whole loaf. And then I've got 2 loaves left to chop up, which for this particular brand, Hayden Rowe is the company. These brands here I've not cut before, so this should be very interesting. So I customized this. You have an option up to 3 different scents. I chose Love Spell for 100% of it. So both the different types of chunks are Love Spell, and the overpour is Love Spell because I love Love Spell. And this one over here is actually... It's also, again, Hayden Rowe, and it is coconut cream overpour with pink sugar chunks and lavender field chunks. So I thought that would be a nice blend. So those are blends that I chose. And I will let you know that this Sassy Girl Aroma loaf came out of the tin. Of course, I took that out before I put it in the microwave. So FYI, never put metal in the microwave. And I feel like Am I forgetting something? Oh, I'm going to show you. Sarah from Things I Love 86. I went back and watched her video because I knew I was going to cut these. These, again, are from Vintage Chic Scents. These are their roses. And I'm going to cut these in thirds. So I'm literally going to cut across here, just as Sarah had shown. Across here, and that's going to be 1 chunk. So that right there is going to be 1 chunk. And then the remainder portion of it, I'm just going to cut in half up here. So it literally... She's totally right. It pretty much weighs out to be a third. So yeah, pretty cool. All right, and as always, I promise, I didn't get to all of my questions. I did post something on my Instagram that if you guys had any questions for me, this would be a loaf cutting / answer questions from you guys. I have a few that I didn't get a chance to answer from the last time I had a video. So we're going to get to that now. And then of course I got a whole bunch more. So thank you guys so much for asking these questions. I really do appreciate it. And of course I will do the best I can and be very honest and sincere with you. And again, if I'm finding I'm cutting these things and I feel like they need to go in the microwave some more, you'll see me head over to the microwave, blast it for a few seconds, come back. So just a heads up. So again, I'm going to cut right across here first. See how this goes. Perfect. I microwaved these little roses. That's going to be 1 piece. These little roses I microwaved on one side for 10 seconds, the other side for 15. Because I find I tried cutting one cold once. And unfortunately, with the dual colored ones, like that one was the Don Corleone. This is the Joanna. And this is a 2-toned colored one. It's hard to really see. There's green and then blue. if I cut it on cold, I find that it's almost like I separate the colors. So anywho, that was just my experience. So I decided to melt that. And again, this has been on one side for 10 seconds, the other side for 15. So, all right, going to the questions that I didn't get the opportunity to answer the last time I did a video. Oh, of course, this is so gross. Not gross, it's just wax, but ugh. All right, so from Kitty Pride 212, she asked, what is a scent blend that sounds weird on paper but smells amazing when melting? I have a few of these blends that I haven't tried yet, but there's a habanero, there's like a habanero, whatever, mango salsa, spicy one from Better Homes and Gardens that I thought, well, I gotta try it because it sounds so crazy, but on cold it smells amazing. I haven't melted it yet, but I do feel that if it does what it smells like on cold when I melt it, I think it'll do amazing. But also too, there's a Sensationals one. It's hibiscus cheesecake. You will see that soon. It's actually on, it's kind of, I pulled it to the side. I just sort of pull it. I guess it's a melting basket kind of thing, but it changes all the time. I never stick to it. That's the thing about wax. I love being able to change it up. So that one smells really good on cold. I picked that one up last fall, like beginning of fall. So again, it was from Sensationals at Walmart that I picked that up. And it was, sorry, I'm blind, you guys. And so again, it was hibiscus cheesecake. So that was really cool. So there's the leaf. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to cut this one. So thank you very much for that question. Joshua Davis, 6763. If I could be of any age for 1 week, what age would I be and why? 21. I had just come out of a relationship of which I had a ring, if you will. And it was a serious relationship, but too serious for a young person like myself. In my mind, I wanted to explore the world and do so much. And so 21 was a great age. I moved to a bigger city to go to university or college, and I went from a town of less than 5,000 people to a city, to us, is a fairly decent sized city, but about 1 million people, maybe, well, like 700,000 maybe. Anyway, and so I had the best college experience. I hated high school, but I had the best college experience. So much fun. I worked hard. I put myself through school. I worked full time. I took 5 courses. I was a field hockey player. I did a 7-a-side mixed league for field hockey and a full-on women's only league field hockey team. Plus I started rowing. I'm wearing a t-shirt with my old rowing club. I look back and I'm like, you look back and I'm like, how the heck did I do it all? But it was the best. It was, it kept me out of trouble. Not that I was much of a troublemaker myself, but it was just good to experience the big city. And like my mom always said, moms are smart. She says roots and wings. I want to build you with the roots that you're going to have for life. And I want to give you the freedom to go on and to explore. And my parents really wanted me and my sister to leave home because the town is quite small. So good on them. I appreciate the encouragement. So this will be an experiment, guys. I have not cut up these loaves yet, so I may have to put this back in the microwave, but we'll see. So thank you very much, Joshua Davis. All right, so Cynthia_Mila1, she asked, what scent did I used to not like and now love, and vice versa? I didn't really like linen scents, like laundry and things like that. I'm really starting to like it, but I think it's because of wax melts here and being able to chop them up. I can blend laundry scents with so many things, with pink sugar, lavender, whatever it is. And I think that's part of the beauty of wax melts as compared to, say, candles, is I love creating. So I didn't used to like laundry scents or linen scents, but I'm really loving it, but mixed with something. But vice versa, I used to love the really, really, really sweet scents, the thick caramel, cinnamon, typical, like a candle that you would melt. let's say in end of October, beginning of November, that kind of thing. And now I can't handle too much cinnamon anymore. It's not my thing. I think this fall it's really going to be cranberry, some pumpkin with a little bit of spice behind it, but nothing major. And caramel. I'm just like the thick caramel. Cinnamon caramel swirl candle. I used to love that one from Bath & Body Works. I can't do it anymore. You know, your nose changes, right? Which is a great question. Thank you so much again, Cynthia. The next question is from Candle Crazed Girly. She says, what made me want to become a firefighter, and what was the toughest part of the academy? So I'm going to start chopping this while I answer that. First of all, I've been into volunteering all of my life pretty much. Since I was 11 years old, I have been volunteering in one way, shape, or form all my life. I love challenges. I love hard work. The satisfaction with the hard work, the pride that you have with what you do, the community that you serve, really. So being a firefighter was just a no-brainer to me. I know it was hard work, but in our town, because we're volunteer firefighters, where we are located is we're off a highway, so majority of our calls are not necessarily fire, but they're motor vehicle accidents. Sometimes we're the first on the scene in a major highway crash. Unfortunately, there's so many cardiac arrests, either due to heart problems or unfortunately drug addiction and drug issues with those. So the complexity of what it meant to be a firefighter in the town that I live, I thought was absolutely amazing, challenging, and it also got me to know my community better in a good way. So again, not only are you a firefighter, but you're immersed in your community. I have since started a haunted house to raise money for muscular dystrophy, which is what my fire department raises money for. I attend so many different events. It's so community based, and remember, it's a volunteer paid on call, but it's a volunteer service. So yeah, again, like it's just great. The complexity, the community-ness, teamwork. I've always been about team sports. I've never been into individual sports in my entire life. I better start cutting. So I really, that's just it. That's why I did it. And a challenge too. Like not that it is, but it seems to be more of a man's world. So I want to I wanted to try it out myself. Again, a challenge, that kind of thing. So I hope I answered that part of the question. So I'm just going to take this. See, the little chunks are falling apart a little bit, but that's all right. So here we go. And the second part of your question is, what is it? Oh yeah, what was the toughest part of the academy? There's actually not necessarily an academy because again, we are just volunteer I keep saying that, I shouldn't say that. We are volunteer firefighters, but we do go away for different courses. I do hazmat, operations, awareness, live fire 1 and 2. Honestly, it's the bonding with your fellow firefighters. The training is great, don't get me wrong, but you take that fairly serious. Obviously, it's pretty, you don't want to mess around with that. It's bonding with your fellow firefighters. It's meeting different firefighters from all over. 90% of us on Vancouver Island are volunteered firefighters. So this is not our job. This is not how we make our money. This is, again, you have to really want to do what you do. So a lot of people have a very similar attitude in life, in the community as you do. So that's really cool. I really enjoy that. So this is actually cutting a lot better than I thought. So fantastic. Not that I thought it was going to be bad, but it's the first time I've ever cut into a Hayden Royal loaf. So well done. I'm really stoked, actually. All right. So thank you very much, Candle Crazed Girly. Okay, Marissa C01. How long do you burn a melt on average? Well, I melt a melt. It really depends. If I get sick of a scent quickly, or if I get sick of a scent, I will change it. If a scent is not giving me what I want it to, like enough of a throw, I will change it. I have enough stuff in my collection now that I will just change it at a whim. But, and also each company is so different. on their strength, and even within the company, like the vendor themselves or Walmart Wax, there's so much variation in that as well. So it's really hard to say. So I remember the quickest one I ever changed out was probably 2 hours, because I was like, ew, this is disgusting. I can't remember what it was. It was not worthy enough, obviously, to talk about here. Obviously, I clearly wanted to put that behind me. But, and then Super Tarts. Super Tarts, honestly, you guys, I've said it before, like, there's just throws and throws and throws. I've kept two chunks of Super Tarts, which is the same size chunks as, like a clamshell, sorry, as Sensationals or Bitter Homes and Garden. I snapped off 2. I can't remember exactly what scent it was, but I think I left it in my melter because I loved it so much. It was just the perfect scent for my mood for 2 days. So it really varies, and I know that's probably not answering your question, but it really truly varies on vendor. It varies on within that vendor the scent that's in it. Is it something I enjoy? Because again, I'm still learning, right? Like, I'm still finding out what I like about wax and what I don't, what I don't enjoy about wax, things like that. So I hope I answered your question as well as I'm hoping I did. Sorry, that made no sense. Oh, I'm slicing into one I already did. Haha. What's going on? Oh, weird. Anyway. Okay, so thank you very much for that question. The next one is XOXO Kayla OXOX, and her question, it's twofold. Yeah, it was a twofold question. And she asked me, oh, this one's gonna be very awkward sizing. She asked me, the first part of her question was, how often do I change melts? Well, I kind of answered that question already with the one just previous to it. And then her next question was, and what made me decide to switch from candles to wax? So before I answer that, I'm just going to take this and move this over to the counter behind me, my little island. Yay! Okay, so that's a good question. I didn't 100% completely switch over from candles to wax. I've said that all the time. I do enjoy candles. I think I'm really looking forward to Bath & Body Works candle scents come fall, and hoping that they really make new ones. Like, create some, some new scents. So it wasn't a conscious effort that I was like, I'm never going to burn a candle, because I still burn them. If you guys follow my channel, you guys know that. I do wax mixologies, all sorts of things. Or Throwback Thursday still have lots of candles in them. But the fact that I can change out my scent, I'm OCD, so with a candle, I burn it from top to bottom. I refuse to start a new candle because when I haven't already finished it. So then that's me. And I know there's plenty of people who have collections out there and they only burn 2-3 times and then you're done. And then you put it away and you still got like 3/4 of your handle. I can't do that. So I get sick. I can get sick of the scents very quickly with candles and want to move on. But again, because I don't, kind of boring. But again, as mentioned earlier on this video, I am really enjoying making my own creations, making my own wax creations. Sorry guys. It's just so much fun. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. Those of you guys who have been melting for a long time, or even for a short time, you guys know exactly what I'm saying. It's to the point now that I still have some major favorites in candle form from Bath & Body Works, which I will always repurchase. But I'm thinking about taking those and freezing them, like Brenda says on Pretty Polka Dots. I follow her. She freezes her 3-wick candles from Bath & Body Works. And what she does is she just leaves it in there for X amount of, it could be days, it doesn't really matter, I don't think. And then you pull it out, and then I'm thinking about doing probably the next wax cutting I do. You might see me try to make my first attempt in trying to cut a Bath & Body Works 3-wick candle. It's the ease, it's the selection, the variety. We wax lovers in general, candle or not, but mostly candle, You guys know the struggle with Bath and Body Works. They keep putting repackages out, and I love Bath and Body Works, don't get me wrong, but they keep repackaging everything. Well, that's not very much fun, is it? And calling it a different name. In fact, it makes me angry, and it doesn't make me want to buy something that all they do is change the name. That's just my own opinion. That's just how I feel. So, frustration. The fact that most of my candles started burning very, very strangely from Bath and Body Works. They started burning so weird. I would do a review like halfway through, which I thought was pretty safe. And as I know Anthony at Candle Cafe, he can vouch for this too. He said the same thing. You burn a candle halfway through and you do your review. You think that's plenty of time. You give your review, and it's almost as though the next time you go to melt that or burn that candle, that's puny wick syndrome. Things going downhill south. You get the stinky, yucky smelling candle. It smells like kerosene burntness, and things like that. And then I feel like, I told everybody I love this candle, but of course on my empties I will tell you, obviously, if it worked out. But it's so frustrating. You know, I'd rather spend my money on wax melts that I know I'm going to really enjoy. And if something's too strong, then I will mix it with something like Vanilla Cookie Crunch or, you know, something like that. Yeah, I just love it. I love the array and abundance, the vendors, the wax vendor community is so awesome. It's still such a tight-knit, small little community. So I really like that. Coming from a small town myself, I really enjoy that. I think it's great. So it's probably a long way around to say that I just, plain and simple, I don't feel wax melts give me nearly at all the trouble that I was starting to get with candles from Bath and Body Works anyway. I didn't have too many struggles with other companies. DW Home, Fruit Candle, they were all pretty good. Sorry about the crinkling. They're all pretty good. Bath and Body Works, because I had the most of it, and because I burned mostly Bath and Body Works, I had the most struggle, and I felt like, you know, your best friend, you tell your best friend secrets, you share information, you hang out all the time, and then your best friend goes and stabs you in the back. That's kind of how it felt like. I didn't like the fact that I spent all my money on these candles, and the candles were doing like not nice things to me, if you will. I know that makes no sense whatsoever, but to me it does in my head. All right, so I hope I answered that. This one I might have to melt a little bit again because it has been out for a while. We'll see. So GSA Kitty Mama, hello, I know who you are. She asked me, tell us about growing up. What part of Canada, siblings, and was I a good girl or a troublemaker? Well, before I cut this up, I grew up in a small town called Oliver, British Columbia. Oliver, just like the play. It is known as the wine capital of Canada. It's the best place to have been brought up. But as my mom and I mentioned earlier, my mom and dad always said, roots and wings. We want you guys to explore, get out of town, things like that, because there really isn't anything in that town for me financially, you know, jobs, a career. There's jobs, there's plenty of jobs, but there's no career for myself there. So that was that. And what part? Oh yeah, siblings. I have one sister. We're exactly 2 years, 2 weeks, 2 days apart. I am older. And she lives in the Okanagan, not in Oliver, but she lives in the Okanagan Valley. And, was I a good girl or a troublemaker? Well, as Wendy Williams to say, well, okay. That was weird. I was a troublemaker until the age where most parents start cringing, going, oh my God, our daughter is going to be crazy. Because anybody with a daughter, you guys know, we are just biatches. We can be, right? Like we have that attitude, like majority of girls when they hit like 11, 12 and onwards, and it's just like, we hate you all. And what was funny is I was a shit disturber. Let's put it that way. I was a little shit all growing up when I was younger. And to the point, you know, I was starting to babysit other people's kids, and I was very responsible. Like, I was a good kid. I mean, I really didn't do anything bad. I would just treat my parents, well, my mom, I just didn't like her. And I love her, don't get me wrong, but you know, when you're a kid, right? I remember she would just, when you were old enough, obviously we were like 11, 12 or whatever, I would get so angry with my mom, she would actually get up and drive away just to get out of the house. She had the freedom to do so, and I was stuck in the house, but I didn't care. You know, my dad was at work, my sister and I would be fighting, my sister and I, and you know, generally, coming from the psychology side of things, generally when you fight with someone that much, it's because you're both so headstrong and you're so very much alike. That's my sister and I. But at the age where most parents cringe about their teenagers, especially daughters, I all of a sudden flipped. I became responsible of a lot of different things. I started working in a grocery store when I was 13. I became captain of my field hockey teams. So a lot of the people had to come to me if they had questions, concerns, and I would obviously go to the coach. I was the middle person, if you will. So I took that really seriously. So I'd say right around 13 years old is when I kind of switched over to, okay, focus, people counting on me, you know, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. So I hope that answered your question, because yeah, that's just how it was. So, okay, let's try this, cut this here in half. All right, so, and this one, I know Sassy Girl Aroma loaves can be a little bit messy because of all the chunks, but we will try and make this work. Okay, so the next one, peace, love, and candles. Hello, I know you've been following me for a long time, and I know you've got an amazing Instagram, by the way. Okay, so you've asked, which vendor do I purchase from most often, either from vendor directly or D-stashes? That's a really good question. Right now, I'd say between Super Tarts, currently, like if we're talking volume, Super Tarts and Bathing Garden and VCS or Vintage Chic Scents, but, and that's directly, because I go together with my friends and we place orders and things like that, and you guys will have seen that in my haul videos and such. But, Super Tarts just because of the strength and the variety and the fact that they're open. Oh my God, this is always messy. Sassy Girl Aroma loaves are the worst for me. I'll put that in the microwave, the other half here shortly. This is ridiculous. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Super Tarts, just because they're strong. I know they throw, all of that stuff. So I love that. VCS or Vintage Chic Scents. I'm starting to buy some again with friends, but it's because I know that I need to cure it for like a year. So I'm buying it now in hopes that I can cure it, not a year. I mean, some scents, obviously, you don't have to cure it that long. What I do find Vintage Chic Scents, you need it for a while. Bathing Garden, although very difficult, they don't ship to Canada, which is a shame. And same with Vintage Chic Scents, they don't ship outside of the United States. So again, if you don't have a friend that you can go together with, like I do, it's really hard. I understand the struggle. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, that's the vendors directly. And in D-stashes, I really do look at Vintage Chic Scents. And I've made this comment to many people on my channel in the past, that look for Vintage Chic Scent D-stashes, because generally by the time you get it, I'm going to put this in the microwave again, they're at least 3 months old. So you've already got some of the cure time taken care of. So with that being said, that's why I would say Vintage Chic Scents D-stashes are great, that I do hunt for a little more often. And they're also very hard because Vintage Chic Scents Kirby only makes certain blends at certain times. So if there's a blend that you really love, you know, and you see a D-stash, grab it. So that's that question. Just gonna flip this over. And let's see, we got a couple more questions left. HLS, oh yeah, hi Heather. Or HLS, or HL Smith 5, that's Heather, hi. What is your favorite place you've ever traveled? I'm a world traveler. I have traveled, not tons of places, but I'll be right back. I have traveled Europe. I have lots of places I still want to go to. Europe and like Mexico. Damn, it's so, sorry guys. This is so messy. Doesn't matter if I made this warmer or not. Anyway, my absolute favorite place, so honestly, and I am going back, is Maui. I wear sunscreen and wear a hat, but I am a sun baby. I am an ocean swimmer. I mean, I've been swimming since I was a lifeguard, all this, that, and the other. I mean, there is just something about going out and swimming and snorkeling all afternoon long. That's what I do when I'm in Maui. Go snorkeling, and then a big turtle brushes my leg, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna follow the turtle. Like, it's just awesome. Like, I just absolutely love it. And the fact that it's only a 6-hour flight from Vancouver, British Columbia, which is, you know, for me a little ways away, not too far, just a ferry ride. And yeah, 6 hours away to paradise. It's pretty darn cool, you guys. I absolutely love Maui, and I am going back, but not for a little while, but I already have plans to go back. So I'm looking forward to that. And the last question in this mess of wax is from Nick Nurse 06. Did I ever think that this was oh, sorry, I'm going to word this better. Did I ever think that this was a thing? This thing would be a thing, this wax thing. That's what it was. I wrote it down wrong. Did I ever think that this wax thing was going to be a thing, quote unquote? No. And she says that because she's also a huge candle lover, and she's just recently, like myself, kind of converted 90% of our melting to wax. I didn't think so at all, but the more I dove into it, and thanks to so many of my friends to send me care packages, random act of kindnesses, I would never know. I truly would not have had any clue. And, you know, my friend in Florida, she was the first person to ever send me anything, and I didn't know what to do with it. I had one warmer, that was it. And I'm like, holy cow, I just don't know. And, you know, that was the most amazing thing, is that she opened my eyes to so many things. And since then, so many of you guys have opened my eyes, either by me watching videos, getting random act of kindnesses myself from others, to vendors I have never even heard of, wouldn't even know about, and finding new favorites and things and blends and scents that I absolutely love. So no, I never thought it would become a thing, but man, am I ever happy it did. Yeah, it's just the exploration, the combinations, minus the messiness of this loaf. This is really messy, by the way. Sassy Girl Aroma loaves as much as I love the smells. Oh dear. Anyway, I'm gonna let that cool off, I think, a little bit. So I hope that answered your question too. I didn't think so, but I'm glad it did. So you guys, I answered 10 questions, some from the last time that I saved from the last video. I hope I answered all your questions right. I hope that I did them well. And yeah, I appreciate this, you guys. Thanks very much. This is a lot of fun. I'm hoping the next time I do a video, I might be cutting into some Bath & Body Works 3-wick candles. So that'll be interesting as well. So you guys, as always, be safe and have fun. Yeah.